This is the Dr. Black Love Show, and we are going to dive right into the audience questions right after this.
All I see is blessings. Got no time for stressing. Don't believe in failures in my life. It's only
Dr. Black Love, Tiffany sent in a question, and it reads, I'm starting to get serious with the guy I met several months ago, but he has been divorced more than a few times, and I'm not sure I can take this seriously due to his past. What kind of feedback do you have for someone like me that can help me moving forward?
Okay. Well, Tiffany, first of all, thank you for sending in the inaugural love note for Dr. Black Love. We appreciate it. There's a few things in this little letter, and we'll go through them. Kind of one by one, break it down. Stephanie and I to discuss them. First thing, an overall thing that I'm always going to have, period, I think is important. Women, you got to have standards. If you don't have standards, anything is acceptable. An example, several examples. If you living with a man, this dude don't clean up, this dude don't take out the trash, this dude don't open the door for you, this dude don't help you with your kids, y'all kids, whatever it is, that ain't going to change. Because you know why? Your bar was too low. So if your standards are really low, don't expect the man to raise them. They're not going to do it. Most men won't. I don't say all. Most women won't. There's a lot of reasons why, but you have to set the standard. Women set the standard. If you come in low standards, it's not going to, don't expect anything better. Just live with what you got because you set the standard. You allow that to happen. So that's something I always preach, always continue to tell you until it gets ingrained in your head. That's an absolute fact. So, Tiffany, the first thing you say, you're starting to get serious after several months. We don't know what several months is. That could be 4 months. That could be 6. I don't know what that means, but there's a little, to me, that's a red flag. What you mean you serious after like 4 months? You don't even know. Remember Chris Rock, Steph? You remember Chris Rock? You meeting your representative? You ain't even met this dude yet.
Correct.
And you talking about being serious after, several months. I don't know what that means exactly. Not to laugh, I'm not making fun of you by any means, but, pace yourself, and let things happen naturally. Don't force them, people got the 90-day rule and all these other facts. I don't really pay attention to that. I say do what you feel is natural, but at the same time, protect yourself and respect yourself, as a woman. And the man will have to respect you or he won't be around. So that's the first part. If you notice, we're focusing on Tiffany. We're not even talking about the guy because it's all about you, Tiffany. This is what you set. This is the standard you set. These are the rules you established. If a person doesn't meet that level, then just get rid of them. That's what you got to do. A lot of women don't. They'll lower their standards to help meet a guy, things of that nature. Then you talk about his past. So let's talk about this stuff. We both have past, right?
For sure.
Right. So
powerful pasts.
Yeah, this is near and dear to our heart, actually.
How about
that? Being divorced. Here's the thing. Somebody's past is their past. I'm not really big on judging people from their past. I've done a lot of stupid stuff in my past and things you might regret, things I regret. Now, I don't know your relationship. That's why it's really important to talk to a person before you get too serious. Get to meet them before you start seeing them 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 12 days in a row.
Let's stop right there because that's good.
Yes.
Because that comes back to your original point of setting a standard, right? Because in order for you to set a standard, first of all, you have to have a clear concept of what you can and can't deal with, which means you have a clear sense of self, right? That's number two. That's accurate. Like slow down and take the time to really understand where this guy's coming from, where you're coming from, and like consciously evaluate what they are saying and what they aren't saying, without going to the crazy side, because there's a side that you can go too far where you think you know what they're not saying and you really don't understand at all.
Yeah.
But there's clues, you know what I'm saying, along the way that tell you who this person really is. I have a concept and a theory, and this Dr. Blacklove knows this. I have a process. It's called whole, healed, and healthy, right? You cannot be pursuing a guy or pursuing the opportunity in a relationship if there's no wholeness within you. You can't do it. And so whether his past is sketchy or not, that kind of comes back to this standard, right? That you have to be clear about. If you know that a man with a past is a problem for you, what are we doing?
Why are you bothering?
So those are some of the things I think as the show goes on, we'll dig deeper into those kinds of concepts. I'm a guest host today, but you
be popping in and out,
in and out. But yeah, I mean, just just those are things that are really key to consider. Like, in your standard, can you handle a guy with a past? And if his past is important to you and he starts to express that past to you and you now hold him to his past, how serious were you from the beginning? So all questions that have to be, thought through, Tiffany, so that you can make an informed decision for yourself. We can only provide opportunity to think through how you want to make good decisions. And we want the Dr. Blacklove show to be a space to help people think clearly about good life choices. So Dr. Blacklove, back to you. Basically, we're talking about this time frame, and then, you bring up his past. Now what?
Right. Biggest thing, like we said, all starts with you, Tiffany. So you have your standards, you have that. Don't lower your bar. You may like the duty, maybe fine as hell, whatever. I don't know. Maybe a dream, but if you can't deal with them as an entire person, then, that you need to establish that really early before you get too heavily involved. And there's a lot of feelings and all those type of things. You need to know what you accept and won't accept. And truthfully, everybody has a past. The older you get, the longer your past won't be. I remember when I was younger, I was like, man, I'd never date nobody with a kid. How'd that work out? I ain't work out. So, and now I have children. So I'm like, but that's how when you're 22 is different than when you're 32, for instance, or, however old we may be. So we're not going to focus on him, Tiffany. We're going to focus on you, and you setting yourself, your standard, and, what you're willing to and willing not to accept. Doesn't matter if he's married 4 times or 8 or once. If you don't want to bother with that, don't bother with that, and let that always be your barometer how you measure things. But I would caution you on being so stringent on. You didn't tell us how many times he's married. To me, it doesn't matter. I don't care. I was married multiple times. I don't care. If you care, so be it. Move on. We won't get too much into it. We won't dig into that other part of it, because I feel like this letter is more about Tiffany as opposed to the other person. We'll have letters and things that we have that will deal with the relationship. This is more about her and you, Tiffany. And also, just in general, just have a standard, ladies. That's it.
So in order to just wrap this one up, What is like your final feedback for Tiffany?
Final feedback is Tiffany, love yourself, number one. I always want to say that. You can't, there's a saying, you get 50%, you need to be 100% of yourself. It's close to it. We always strive for that. You should always strive for that. So you're a whole person, not a half a person. The other person can't bring 50% there. You both need to be 100. Love yourself first. Second, have standards. You know what I mean? Whatever they are, they're your standards, and nobody can tell you what's right or wrong with that. But you got to have your own standards and stick by them and stick to them, no matter what. If they're going to be your standards, like Coach Mike Tomlin says, a standard is a standard. Yeah, that's one of my favorite sayings. That has to be what it is. You can't lower the bar. And finally, just in general, give brothers a chance sometimes. Every brother, he could have, I don't know, again, I love that Tiffany on so we can know a little more about the situation in terms of detail, because then we can really dig into it. If she wants to do that, we'll ask her if she wants. But every situation, there's no cookie cutter stuff. Like, who knows what happened? And if you know the details of things, you be like, okay, I understand that. And then you can measure someone for who they are now. People grow, people change, people grow up. There's a saying, a man is only going to change for one person, really, in their life. That's the truth for me too. So you could be that person, but you got to give them an opportunity as well. So a few things to dig through there, but that would be my advice for Tiffany. So let us know what you think, Tiffany, as well. We're gonna get you back, send you the recording and everything like that, and hopefully keep in touch with you. We'd like to thank everyone for joining us today. And remember, love only enters if the heart is willing. Signing off, Dr. Black Love.
All I see is blessings. Got no time for stressing. Don't believe in failures in my life. It's only lessons.